Roman Reigns is here. He is back. We haven't seen him since WrestleMania 40. He returns at SummerSlam. You've had about 48 hours to process Roman being back. We talked about it on Saturday night, how we never thought that we would have this feeling about Roman Reigns. Are you still as excited as you were 48 hours ago to see what happens with Roman? Because now we know he's advertised for this Friday SmackDown. That first Acknowledge Me is going to be wild.
Yeah, I think 48 hours removed, I'm more excited now than I was then, because I think in my mind, Roman was showing up for SummerSlam and then he wasn't going to be on TV for a while. Like he was just, Agreed. It was like I'm letting Solo know he's not at the top of the food chain, but I'm not going to show up or anything like that. I went back and rewatched it because we watched it live at your house.
Yep.
And I couldn't really hear, I knew there was a massive pop, but I couldn't really hear how loud the pop actually was. And I went back and watched it and got goosebumps all over again. Just hearing the pop that he got when he came out there. I said it on the post show and I'm going to say it again. This is where WWE wanted Roman Reigns to be 5, 6, 7 years ago.
9 years ago, really?
Really. Yeah. And it's taken a lot longer to get there. But I think we appreciate it more because we went through those bad times with Roman, and now it's like we can finally acknowledge him and appreciate him for, the athlete and the wrestler that he really is.
We said it on the post show, man. It's like, this is the Roman that we all wanted. He came back. Yep. Nothing has changed about his character at all. Yeah. It took us 9 years to get to this version of Roman Reigns, like you just said, but here we are. So, man, that begs the question. In the main event, it was Solo Sikoa against Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship. We see on the screenshot on the YouTube channel, if you're watching, by the way, if you're not watching, what are you doing? Make sure you're watching the YouTube channel. But we see Roman's acknowledgement of Cody Rhodes towards the end of the match. It wasn't a, hey, I'm here to help you. It was, hey, I'm here to right some wrongs in my family. I'm just reminding you that I am here. So, Andy, that begs the question, is there room for Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes at the top of the babyface food chain on SmackDown? Can there only be one spot? Is there a world where they can share it, or is Cody Rhodes now taking a back seat to the Tribal Chief?
I think there is room, and I think we can look at Austin and Rock and see that there is room. I think we can see they're two completely different characters.
Yeah.
And Cody is the, white meat baby face. He's the good guy and everything. He does everything. That's the guy that we love. But then we've got Roman, who is sort of like the anti-hero, full of himself, all of that. I think there is room for both of them. The more I've thought about it, I don't really want Roman and Cody to fight each other right now for the title because, one, I don't think it's time to take the title off of Cody.
Right.
But two, and it's weird to say this after how long of a reign he just had and barely getting pinned, he's a babyface now, and it's a kind of a whole new it's a whole new trajectory for him.
Yep.
He doesn't need to be pinned right now either, or lose even by disqualification. So I think they need to save that for somewhere down the line, probably post WrestleMania, or run it back at WrestleMania again if they want to. But I think that should be something that is saved a little bit later than just rushed for the next Saudi show or something like that.
Roman Reigns' return at SummerSlam has garnered over 100 million views on WWE's social platforms. That is more than the return of Rhea Ripley. There's also more than the return of CM Punk in this same time frame. So it's safe to say that everybody is excited for Roman to come back. Obviously, we are as well. We expressed that on Saturday night. We're sort of diving back into it right now. I got to be honest, man. I'm concerned with Cody's spot. I don't think he'll lose merchandise sales. I still think he's going to be at the building until they shut the lights off at every live event. I don't think that is changing because we know Roman's probably not going to go do live events. We said it the other night. He's not going to be a full-time guy. He might be like semi-full-time a little more frequently now that he's not the champion. I don't know how they'll do all that, yet to be determined. But the fact is, man, that pop the other night was nuclear. It was insane. And now that we have a babyface version of the tribal chief, I just wonder, like, here's what I keep going back to. I feel like, and I'm with you, I don't think Roman and Cody should have a match now. I think we need to wait. But if they put them in the ring together, like let's say Friday, yeah, the crowd's going to be split. And I don't think they'll boo Cody. I just think they're going to be all about Roman. And that scares me for Cody's spot.
Yeah, but, you know, we've been saying that for the last year about Cody.
Yeah.
About, you know, I've said on this podcast several times after WrestleMania 39, he won't have the same momentum going into WrestleMania 40 and everything like that. And yet he, I think, gets a bigger reaction week in and week out. Like every week it's a reaction. The reaction he get is still like takes me back every time I hear it because, you know,
good point.
Like by this point with wrestling fans, the bloom normally falls off the rose at this point, and you know, we're already fickle and wanting somebody else to win the title and everything else. I don't feel that with Cody. And I think Cody is the kind of guy who will know his place, and, you know, sometimes he'll take a back seat probably to Roman. But there'll be times when Roman's not on TV and we'll look at Cody and go, yes, this is the guy WWE is behind full time for right now. And I think that's more important than, you know, pitting the two against each other and seeing which one's going to get the bigger pop. And Roman may get the bigger pop for now and when he shows up and everything, but week in, week out, people can rely on Cody Rhodes being there. And I think that's the biggest selling point for Cody.
And I don't doubt Cody. You know, like you just said, every time it seems like we put him in a corner and he comes out swinging and the pop's bigger and, you know, all that. So I don't doubt him. I love Cody Rhodes. I just, man, there's something about Roman being back, and there's something about the buzz that it's created. Maybe it's just excitement. Maybe it's a nervous excitement with Roman.
Maybe.
I don't know. I do wonder. Go ahead.
Well, and the thing is, he attacked Solo. I get, like, he probably is, in our eyes right now, a babyface. But Seth Rollins did the same thing, attacking Roman Reigns, and we all cheered for him like he was a babyface. And the next night, he came out and he was a heel.
And
so
I hope they learn from their
But
mistake.
I think it's one of those where Roman is a tweener, and he's going to stay a tweener, where when he's in the ring with Solo, he's going to be a babyface, but he can always revert back to that tribal chief heel and turn the crowd. I mean, that's what we talk about, like Adam Cole all the time. Yeah. People love him, cheer for him, but he hits the ring and says a couple of things, and you're like, oh, I don't like him. Like, I want to boo him now for what he just said. Yeah. Roman's that guy too. He can play both sides really well, and I think that'll be important for them kind of going forward, of Roman kind of wearing both hats at times.
Speaking of going forward, one more question on this topic, and then we'll move on. Raw moves to Netflix January 2025. We know that SmackDown moves to USA in like 5 weeks. I think it's like September 13th, something like that. When Raw does move to Netflix, do you expect one of these guys to go over there, or do they try to keep them both on SmackDown?
That's a good question. I haven't actually thought about that. I think they'll both be there for the main, like for the first show.
Yeah,
I think they'll both be there. I think, honestly, Rock will be there too.
And Cena. It'll be a loaded show.
And yeah, it'll be. Might as well throw Austin in there. And
Taker
at that point.
Yep.
Michaels, everybody. I don't think you necessarily need one of them on Netflix. However, I think they're going to try to draw as many people in. So I think it's one of those where Roman may be the guy now that is not attached to one brand, but he'll show up on Raw, he'll show up on SmackDown, he'll show up back and forth from time to time. But I don't think they necessarily need to move one of them over for that. Because I mean, you've got guys like Punk and Rollins and McIntyre on Raw who, I think can fill that role pretty well.